In this video I'm going to give you almost instant emotional turn-ons for men. Because if I would give them for elephants, you probably wouldn't know what to do with them, right? But men, a lot of people think, if you want to turn one of them on, you will have to be sexual in some way or form, physically or by using your words. And that obviously works on almost all men, but it doesn't create the deep emotional bond that is needed to form a true connection or to make him see you as a person of value, someone he respects, someone he wants to keep seeing, someone whose name he hasn't forgotten the next morning, someone he would even ditch his friends and hobbies for. And he shouldn't actually ditch his hobbies and friends, of course, but a deep emotional bond can be that powerful. It's like a spell. We all know that a physical connection can fade very quickly if it's not backed up and supported by a strong emotional connection. Now, an emotional connection is, for example, formed when you have long talks that can last all night and stuff. And that's really nice, but that won't turn him on. That won't raise his attraction. These long talks won't make him unable to stop thinking about you and so on. So if that is what you are looking for, that he's truly turned on by you and not just for 5 minutes, then we need something else, and that's what this video is about. My name is Geert, I'm an author. I also use the pen name Brian Knox. I write books about dating and relationships and other topics, and as you will notice, to create emotional attraction is more about what not to do than what to do. Emotional attraction is very easily destroyed. It's very fragile. With that said, the first thing I want to discuss, the first thing that will turn a man on an emotional level is when you put him in his place, but in a special way. See, there are many ways to put a man in his place. There's the very loud, I have high standards way, and that means that the voice is raised, sentences are almost yelled like, if you want to be with me, then this is what I expect from you. And if you cannot give that to me, I'm gone. I want to be treated with respect. I'm high value, you know. I will replace you quicker than a worn-out toothbrush. Yeah, really nice, but not an emotional turn-on. Most men prefer to shave themselves with a chainsaw than to be with a woman who talks like this. And also, we of course know that when people start yelling and get really upset, they actually feel very insecure. It's not so-called high-value behavior, and they usually don't even mean what they are saying. These are often empty threats. But then, there's the other way. The voice is not raised. It's, well, I like you, and I still think we have potential, but now that you did this, that's stuff for me to think about, but feel free to be who you want to be. I want you to be yourself. The end. No threats, nothing. But trust me, if he likes you, he will get the message. Moments like these often make someone who did something wrong, truly realize how important their partner is. And if they feel that, they will show a better version of themselves. No yelling or any ultimatums required. This creates emotional attraction for many reasons at the same time. It's cool, calm, and collected, and that requires a lot of strength. Getting upset and yelling is pretty easy. This here is not. So this type of strength is attractive. And then there's of course also the huge element of challenge. Interesting. What was that all about? I think I better be my best self, otherwise I might even lose her. She has stuff to think about, and she said it with such a calm voice that she must be serious. It's as if she doesn't like me anymore. What? How do I prove to her that she can trust me and that she should stay with me? This guy may even delete social media or at least unfollow all the other women he follows to focus all of his attention on you. And I know that will probably never happen, but can you sense the power here? Some women look at their guy and they have a huge list of demands. I need him to be like this and that. He also needs to treat me like this and that. And when that doesn't happen, which is very probable, they feel unhappy. They start to complain, sometimes by nagging, sometimes even by yelling. Who has the power then? He does. The opposite is, I don't need anything from you. I like you, but my life is great without you as well. You don't need to be or do anything. You be you, and I will see if that makes me happy or not. If it does, great. If not, well, then I guess that means bye-bye. And when a man feels that, you get his best behavior. Men are attracted to this. And I'm generalizing. You should of course communicate what you expect from a relationship and so on, but just not by yelling and getting really upset. That will not change him anyway. A second way to turn him on an emotional level, do not put him on a pedestal and don't prove yourself to him. Don't try to change what he thinks about you or even to influence it. Here are some examples of what I mean. Let's say it's the second date and you chose to wear a beautiful black dress because during the first date he told you that he really likes the color black. Bad idea. And what would make this even worse is when he then sees you and says, "Oh, you look gorgeous." And you would reply, "Yeah, well, I'm wearing this for you. I wear black because you told me you love that color." No. See, this is great when you've been in a relationship with him for a year or more, when he has earned this pedestal treatment because he's giving you the princess treatment. But not so soon. These things scream, "Please like me." And they make the emotional attraction melt faster than a banana split in the hot desert sun. So pretty fast. Another example, let's say you drive a car that looks like it came out of a hurricane because of the scratches and the dents it has, and suddenly you wonder, yeah, he's really into cars, so maybe he's going to think that and then something bad about you, and you choose to tell him that. Yeah, you see, I drive an old car and I know it has some scratches, but that's because, you don't have any explaining to do, especially when he's not even asking for an explanation. These are examples where he can clearly feel that you are trying to sell yourself to him, and this, on a subconscious level, communicates that you think he has a higher value than you, that you believe for some reason that you don't deserve him. And I probably don't need to explain that this won't generate any attraction of any kind, and it can even destroy the emotional attraction that was already present. Not when you do this once, when you do this often, but don't prove yourself to him. So instead, start saying bad things about his car. Just kidding. Please never do this. Some men have a strange relationship with their car. If I, for example, would own a hangar, I would still have every single car I ever owned, and I would store all of them in the hangar. Forever. Even the ones that look like they came out of a hurricane. So if you ever want to hurt a man, say something bad about his car. Otherwise, don't. But in general, don't sell yourself to him. Don't put him on a pedestal. Attraction is often linked to value. We are attracted to people and things we find valuable. So do not destroy your own value. The third way to create instant emotional attraction is to be as authentic as you can. To be your true self. See, personally, I think that in life we should not always be ourselves. If my girlfriend and I, for example, arrive at a hotel and the special room we booked turns out to not be available, then I'm not going to be myself. I'm going to be whoever I need to be to get that room or an even better room, and who I will be will depend on who I'm talking to. I will use some diplomacy and some persuasion tactics, and that works really well in those situations. But in a relationship, we have no other choice than to be authentic and thus ourselves. If for some reason we decide, I really like that person, I'm going to behave in a way so they like me too. I might even use some persuasion tactics. Very bad idea. We attract the wrong people because of this. We waste our time. If you're a woman and you want a man that feels a deep connection and that cherishes you, your job is never to persuade him or to convince him or to do things so he would like you more. Ever. Doing those things will never allow a deep emotional attraction to exist, and it can even destroy the physical attraction. Yes, it's that powerful. Men love it when they can see the real you. And for some of them that will mean, ooh, she's not my type, which is good. Regardless of what you feel for them, they should leave. And the right men will see something that they don't often see. Someone without a mask on. Someone who's not playing a role, someone who's not playing any games, someone who's not trying to be liked or to hide parts of their personality. When I wrote some of my books, I interviewed a lot of men, and when I asked, what made you pick one woman over another, and when was it clear that you really wanted her, what often came back was, well, the moment I could truly see her. The moment I saw her soul, who she truly was. And they used different words to explain this, but that's what it came down to. And that brings me to the final thing. He wishes he was more like you. So that means that he sees things in your personality that he would love to have in his personality. He's impressed by how you handle certain things or what you have achieved, by your self-confidence, by how passionate you are, and so on. Now, to get to this point, he needs to be able to see you, to experience all facets and sides of you. And that's one of the reasons why I'm such a fan of activity dates. Not going to dinner and staying there all night, but doing things together. Kayaking, or going for an adventurous hike, building a bonfire on the beach, and perhaps then going to dinner afterwards. And not as a first date, but a second or a third date. Make sure that he can experience your full personality. And as you have seen, all of these emotional turn-ons have one thing in common. You take care of yourself. And not just your appearance by taking care of your physical body, but also internally. You, for example, set boundaries. You're never afraid of losing him, especially not when you've only known him for a couple of days or months. You know what you are worth. And perhaps the most important one, you watch Brian Knox videos until the very end of the video. You also hit the like button. Apparently that's good karma, and in return that gives you the ability to easily turn men on. All kidding aside, I hope you appreciated this video. As always, if you want more, you can find that on brianknox.com or on Amazon by searching for my pen name, Brian Knox. I want to thank you for sticking around until the very end of this video. I always love it when you do that, and I hope to see you in another video.